All week, my friends, we are talking about 4 phrases that can stop your growth, stop your potential, stop your momentum. And today we're going to cover the third one here in the Dallas Daily Show, coming at you from the Neighborhood Loan Studio in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's get into the third phrase. So over the last couple of days, we've talked about, when I, then I, the when I, then I syndrome, as I sometimes like to call it. Yesterday, we talked about this idea of regret with the, if only I hadn't done blank, or if I should have, could have, would have, right? If only I hadn't. Today, we're talking about the third phrase. If only I had is the third phrase. A little opposite than that second phrase, if only I hadn't. This is if only I had. Now, this one, what we start to do is we start to place our lack of present success on the idea that there was external forces in the past keeping us from our success. Let me explain that, because that sounded like a mouthful. But the idea of if only I had, maybe you've said variations of this. If only I had more time. If only I had more talent. If only I had more money. If only I had more connections. If only I had more yada yada. You fill in the rest of the phrase. There's some variation of that you and I have said, and it was like, man, if only I had had more opportunities. This is, again, different than if only I hadn't done the mistake or the regretful thing. This is if only I had had more open doors, more opportunities, more whatever. Then I would be on a trajectory. Everything in your past is in your past, okay? And I say that with all the love that I can. Those doors didn't open for whatever reason. You may have had detours, you may have had denials, you may have had delays along the path. But the moment that you and I start to blame our present results on the lack of resources, what we are doing in our mind is we are framing that even in our present, we still have lack of resources. Let me say that again, because again, that's a mouthful. A little bit of brain jujitsu going on right here, right? We're going to roll with it just for a second. The moment we begin to blame our present lack of success on a past lack of opportunity, what we are doing is we are positioning ourselves to have lack of success in the future because we're going to have the framework of somehow lack of external opportunities. Does that make sense? Stick with me for a moment. If only I had more time then, I'd be more successful now. Okay, well, what happens when you don't have enough time now? Does that mean you're predicting a future of a lack of success? Boy, if only I had more money then, I'd be more successful now. Okay, does that mean, if only I had more money now, then I could be more successful in the future, or lack thereof? You see, what the one thing that we learned from the if only I hadn't done phrase that's keeping us stuck, right, was there was a regret cycle occurring that was keeping you locked in the past. With the when I, then I, there's a cycle of future problematic thinking based on present fears. I'm not worthy now, so I won't be worthy in the future probably. We're experiencing that same sort of thinking in this concept here. If only I had more money, opportunities, connections, chances, right? What you're doing is you're saying past lack determined present results. What if present lack determines future results, and you're actually putting yourself on a trajectory of future lack? So it's all based on this mindset, right, of lack, that somehow external circumstances have determined what you're currently lacking. May I suggest to you that actually your external environments are simply created by our thoughts, by our imaginations, and by our fears. So if you viewed the lack of present success because of lack in the past of resources, you're going to do the same thing in creating your future. Any lack that you focus on in the present is going to put you on a trajectory of future lack as well. That's a mindset. We want a mind shift. We have to begin to, again, focus on this future version of you that is fulfilled. It's the idealized self that you want to realize and actualize, right? This future version of you, does that person lack the health, the relationships, the spiritual fulfillment, the financial security? This version of you, do they lack? Because if they don't lack, you can't put yourself on a trajectory of present lack as well. I'm using the word lack a lot. Maybe, Taylor, we should have a lack counter down at the bottom of this. But the concept here, guys, is you have to begin, in order to have the mind shift to behave like the future version of you want to become in the present, and to get those results of future you starting to, for lack of better word, manifest in the present, right? In order for that to happen, you have to bring the abundance mindset of who you want to become into your present self. Otherwise, you'll always say, boy, if only I had more blank. You'll always blame your lack of results on an external circumstance over which you have no control. But your external results are based on your internal mind shift, your internal abundance, your internal focus, your internal sense of thriving. The phrase that can kick you out of growth and expansion and momentum is, boy, if only I had more ... Where in your life do you need to eliminate that phrase? All right, that's it for today. That's all I got for you, my friends. Tomorrow we're going to cover the fourth and final phrase in these 4 phrases that'll limit your growth. But in the meantime, my friends, go out there and have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.